Hey, everybody, and welcome to the Seal Podcast, episode number 161 for the first week of February. On the back of a hiatus. Apologies,
Yes.
we were not. Oh, we were not here last week, and someone was not amused.
Okay. Such is life.
It was my fault, everyone. I'm putting my hands up. I was waylaid by work.
We were on camera.
Yeah.
You weren't putting your hands up. I'd just like to
I'm
point
going
that
to
out.
put my hands up. There we go,
Okay.
for anyone watching, so you can see. I had work commitments, which I could not do anything about. To Neil's disbelief, Fraser surely can't be working. Apparently nobody works, right, Neil?
Well, you don't, that's for sure. Usually. Not when you're supposed to be, anyway.
No. But here we are. We appreciate your patience for letting us have the week off. In all fairness, it was nice to have a week off. I think, Dave, no complaints from you, were there? No,
He was straight in there. Yeah, let's just fucking bin it off. No one cares anyway.
Neil really is the glue, everyone. Let me just tell you that. Hey, if it wasn't for
Had a massive
Neil,
cob on, didn't I, for about 3 days?
if Neil, he did. He gave us the silent treatment. If Neil was not keeping this ship afloat, you would be sitting here listening to dead air.
Or me, on my own.
Or Neil on his own.
Thanks for all tuning in.
I don't know which one's worse.
Anyway. Oh no, no one did.
So anyway, we're back. And then, as usual, I guess we'll push on and let Neil take the helm with the football.
Okay. Well. It's still got last week's scores on. Good. So this week has already kicked off, obviously. Hopefully you've all done your transfers and whatnot.
Yes.
But yeah, last week, one person got over 100 points. Lord, why is it not going? So well done, Lord. 104 points. Triple captained Haaland last week.
Nice. I triple captained the week before. Curses.
Palmer. When he had a double game week and did absolutely, he scored 1 goal or something, didn't he? I think.
Yeah, he still got points for him.
So. Yeah, better than no goals.
I still captained him last week anyway, so it's all.
Yeah,
good.
I captained him last week. I've been on the Rashford captain for a few weeks, and I'll switch back. Oh,
you've been on the Rashfords again, have you, sir?
Yeah. So yeah, well done, Lord. 104 points. Caught up 31 points on our still leader, Paul Davies, Welsh Wizards FC. He's 1,306 points. And who's that in third? Oh, it's me. I'm on 84 for the last week, up to third, 1205.
You must be buzzing now.
I looked at it. I'll show you January, shall I? Let's go to have a look at January.
You can do. Let me go down really well on an audio podcast.
January, who's top? Oh, it's me by 1 point over Christian. And Paul Davies was 22 points behind me and third. So I had a pretty good January.
Gaining ground. I like it.
Yeah.
Oh, mate, you can smell it.
I can smell something.
How far are you off the lead then? I can't see that.
At the moment, 101 points off. Oof. So it's a bit of a stretch. Because we've got a double game week just starting. Man United and Leeds have 2 games. So I was thinking about triple captaining Marcus Rashford this week, but I had a little snooze earlier and then completely forgot about the deadline being at 6:30.
Brilliant.
I went, shit. So I've captained him anyway in his double. But,
well, I've captained Rashford, so you definitely did not want to triple captain him.
Well, I think Paul Davies has triple captained him, so I'm now hoping that Rashford doesn't do anything for the next week. 2 games.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So I'm on -4 as well for this week, because I made 2 transfers and didn't have any freebies. I only had 1 freebie, so. Oh, it's fucking updated now. Look, it's took all the scores away. That's it away. So, you're down into 18th, Fraser.
Yeah, I mean,
off the bottom.
The funny thing is, I dropped a place this week, but if you look on the front of my fantasy team, I've gone up in every league
Mm.
I'm in.
Green arrows
right?
everywhere. You like that?
Green
don't you?
arrows everywhere, except in the
Except
League of
in our league.
Leg Ends where I've dropped. But I am in hot pursuit of Defoe, who's above me, and some other fellow Garcast members. Guar is up there. He's way ahead, but he's in my sights
Yeah,
too.
it's not that far. It's not that
Oh,
far.
I know, but he's putting
Christian,
together.
you
a
can't
team as
include
well.
Christian in the Garcast, did you?
Yes, I am too. Yeah.
So
He's not. He's a secondary. He's secondary. But if I can take care of the Cardcast is primary. I have to beat all those guys. And
Well, you're only 4 points behind Gary.
I think I was 1 point behind Gary at the end of.
Oh no! Well, it's 4 points at the moment.
4 points at the moment. Yeah.
Is there a game on right now?
Well, Chelsea have played.
Okay.
But then I don't think any points have updated from that. Chelsea obviously didn't play on their own. They played Fulham. There was another team involved.
Yeah, I don't know. Anyway, so that's my personal goal right now is to try and get those guys. And then if I can take Christian out at the same time, so be it.
So, yeah, it's obviously it was the close of the transfer window on the 31st. And since Todd Bowley took over Chelsea, they've spent something like £500 odd million. And they still couldn't beat Fulham this evening. It was 0-0.
Wow.
And anyone who brought Reece James back in, thinking, oh, Reece James is fit, yeah, get him in, because he's going to do brilliant for Chelsea. Took him off in the 59th minute, so he didn't get any clean sheet points either.
Oh, that hurts. The 59th.
So, yeah.
That's 1 point.
Yeah.
Not 2.
That's a bummer, because they didn't go on to keep a clean sheet. I fell asleep watching it as well, so I've had 2 little snoozes today. But yeah, we'll see what goes on this week. It's a big week, potentially. And then we had the EFL semi-finals, EFL Cup, semi-finals this week, which means as Man United and Newcastle are meeting in the final, they won't be playing in the Premier League that weekend, which means in week 25, Man United, Brighton, Newcastle and someone else, I can't remember right now, I won't be playing at all that week, so they will be blanking. So you've loaded up your team with Man United players for this week. In about 3 weeks, they won't have a game. So I know what I'm doing that week.
Yeah, I have loaded up with Man United players now. I have 3.
Mm.
So I'm going to be using my free hit then probably for that weekend.
That's my plan, because I've got loads of Newcastle, loads of Man United and loads of Brighton players as well. So I can't think, that's why I know those 3 teams aren't playing. I can't remember who the 4th one is. Probably haven't got any of their players. Oh, it's Brentford, I think. I've got a couple of those as well.
What's your opinion on Trossard? Because he suddenly now has changed shirts.
Yeah, he's gone to Arsenal, hasn't he? So his main competition is Gabriel Martinelli, I would say, in Arsenal. I mean, he is capable of playing in other positions, but I can't see him playing 90 minutes every week, that's for sure. But once the old European competitions kick back in, you never know, there'll be quite a bit of squad rotation going on. I thought a lot of teams have tried to strengthen, I think, with that in mind. That they're going to be having Premier League in the week, Champions League midweek, Premier League at the weekend, Champions League in the midweek. So they've got a lot of games coming up. But we'll see. Going to be difficult to pick your teams coming up with all the big clubs that are still involved in the big competitions. We'll be shuffling things around a bit, depending on who they're playing, probably as well. So you might think, oh, hey, my Haaland's going to play against like Southampton this week, but it's between 2 Champions League games and he doesn't play in the Premier League or something stupid like that. So, yeah, we'll see what happens. But yes, I've certainly got my interest in at the minute. I'm like trying to do my best to catch up all the time, but trying to pick the other players that other people haven't got is the key to trying. Because I've always seems to have the players that everyone else at the top has got. It's the ones that are going to make the difference. The difference.
It's how you're going to make the difference. That's the problem when you're trying to play catch up.
So I had to get rid of one of my differentials. Kulusevski had to go this week to bring in Bruno Fernandes for Man United. So. Hence, and then I had to bring in a dirt cheap striker at the same time, who might not play because he got absolutely hacked down by Fabinho the other week. So He might not be playing, but he's on the bench anyway.
Who's that?
He's Ferguson for Brighton. He's super cheap. It's like 4.5 or 4.6.
All right.
So,
All right.
but he had been on a rich vein of form, as they say, until he got brutally hacked in that game. But anyway, shall we move on?
Sure. Okay. Well, thank you as usual for the football update. We don't. Oh, we have one thing, don't we, to add in?
What the question?
Yeah, we had one question. Looks like
Question
everyone
from
just,
Sean.
everyone just left us in droves once we look at the impact of not putting a show out last week. We have very little listener
See
mail.
what you've
People are
done.
just
See what you've done.
so Sean, friend of the show. I don't have it in front of me, but he was basically asking, what video games do you regret buying? I think was the question, wasn't it?
And why?
And why?
Yes.
Well, my go-to answer, and it probably never changes, is Battlefield Hardline. And then Neil will say it was a good game. And then we'll just have, I mean, we've had this discussion numerous times, so we don't need to dwell on that. Dave said he was boycotting this question because he's answered it so many times.
I love you, Sean. I'll answer you because it's fucking Tarkov, isn't it?
Tarkov.
Oh, is that yours?
Oh.
And I know he loves Tarkov as well, so we're probably going to fall out now. But man.
Can't you refund it?
No, you can't refund it because it's in Russian fucking dodgy company, isn't it? Not on Steam. I've played it on my own a bit, and it's just fucking brutally. The mechanics of the game are just ridiculous. It's too much. It's too much tinkering all the time. In a battle zone where the AI just fucking headshots you instantly. You're like, you fucking prick. Didn't even get a chance. So yeah,
that sounds exactly like what happened this morning.
Well, yeah, but that was a real person. So I just
you said the exact same
person.
thing though. That's so funny. When you get headshotted, you fucking prick.
Yeah. I was like, you're fucking kidding. That's bullshit. I think was what I said, pretty much. But yeah, so Tarkov at the minute is taking the top title.
Why don't you lend me your account then, so I can try it?
Because you get banned and shit, don't you?
Do you?
I don't know. I think so.
Just tell me you're over.
I've moved to Canada. Yeah.
You've moved to Canada for a week.
Hmm. It's got 2-factor authentication and all that shit on it as well. So.
Oh.
Yeah.
All right, you can just say no. It's all right. I can take it.
You won't like it.
No, I don't know. I've got.
No, you need to buy it to experience the misery.
No, you're exactly. You know.
I'm sure it's great once you've learned it, but fuck me, it's just.
I don't have space for Tarkov right now.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Thanks for that, Sean. Much appreciated. Well, we're whistling through the show. I like it. Let's move on to what we've been doing.
Nothing.
How exciting! Neil's got a blank, so he's
not watched any
telly.
Anything. Not watched any telly. Not watched any movies.
I'm trying to think what I've. I started watching. I did try and watch some movies the other day. I was watching Cromwell with Richard Harris.
That sounds lovely.
Whenever it was back in the
Richard Harris, it's not new.
60s.
I can assure you of that.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, that was all right, I guess.
I'll
tell you what I did watch. Here we go. I'll tell you what I did watch. Was Morbius.
Oh, what did you do that for?
Which I didn't even know was a thing. I was just scrolling through.
You didn't know it was shit.
I pretty much thought it might be. So Morbius, for anyone who doesn't know, and I wouldn't have known this before a few days ago, is he's some sort of Marvel character, vampire Marvel character, right? But the Morbius movie is Jared Leto. Is that his name?
Leto? I don't know.
I mean, I know nothing about this guy. I've heard his name mentioned lots, but I don't know. He doesn't stand out in anything I've ever seen before. I'd recognize him if I saw him in the streets now, maybe, but now I've watched a movie. I did skip through a lot of it. Is it terrible? Is it? There was some of it I thought was pretty neat. Saying that, I was not riveted to it, but then I was in one of those moods where I don't think anything would have satisfied me.
Boo.
Yeah. Anyway, that's not going to set the world on fire, I guess.
No, I think everyone already knows it's shit.
It definitely went like very quickly to sort of TV hell. Yeah, it got released. There was not a lot of good. Not a lot of good sort of good press about it, and it
Mm,
sort of died a death.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I said to my son or said at the dinner table, I said, "Oh, I watched Morbius when I was in bed last night," and I think my son was pretty much the same reaction. Like, "What did you do
What
that?"
did you start laughing?
Pretty much. Yeah. The other thing I have on my list here,
I
which,
thought he'd been the Joker. He was he was the Suicide Squad Joker.
yeah, I knew that, but I've never seen it,
No, I
so
haven't seen it either. I think that's
and I
shit as
couldn't
well.
tell
Mate.
you.
There's a theme coming. There's a theme here.
Yeah,
Don't watch his
he's
films. They're all
he's
shit.
not got the Midas touch apparently.
No.
But the other thing I have on my list, which I think is a standout at the moment, is that, and this is back to our friend again, the real Defo in the Garcast, is the death pool I entered.
This is very wrong.
So they over on the Garcast, and I'm sort of on their Discord chatting away back and forth to them about various things. Anyway, they decided to do a death pool. So we've had to name. You enter in and you put 20 names down.
20?
Basically, 20 names. Yeah, it's not that difficult to come up with 20 names. And if they die during the year, you get a certain amount of points depending on their age. So if somebody dies and they're 78, you get, I guess, 22 points, right? And so, you can pick people who are at end of life, right? Somebody who's up in the 90s
Do you
or
get
whatever.
you get minuses if they're over 100?
That's a good question. That is a very good question. I guess, yeah, I don't know. Maybe you get point. I don't know. I think it works like that anyway. I just found out today there's bonus points as well. Like if you get 2 hits in a month or something like that, you get bonus. But I don't even know.
Go on a streak.
I have to make a complaint actually to the organizers to say I don't remember these rules being posted anywhere.
This is like the World Cup fantasy football all over again.
But it's very, very bizarre, right? I mean, there's a thread running where they have a bot now that announces any celebrity deaths, and you sort of. You're morally. There has been some
yes!
moral. There have been some moral.
David Attenborough died. Yeah.
David Attenborough's on my list.
He can't be worth many points.
No.
Yeah, David Attenborough's on my list.
You gone for a banker there, have you? He ain't dying this year anyway.
I sort of hope he doesn't die. That's the thing. It's very morally questioned. You question your morals a little bit on this one. But again, as someone was saying, I think it was Mike on the podcast. He was saying, it's not a question of you're hoping these people die. It's just, if they are going to die,
you just get points.
You just get points. I don't know. It's an odd one, right? It's an odd one.
You get points towards your morally questionable competition.
Yeah, but the funny thing is, it's like really popular. Like they got quite a few entries in. Everyone's talking about it all the time. It's definitely probably the most active channel in their Discord. So I mean it's, and then as well, like I don't know, but I remember growing up, my dad always took the newspaper, right? He always had the broadsheet. He was a Telegraph reader, I think, or was he Times? I can't remember. Of course he was, and. But he was always, I think one of the most, his highlight of his day was reading the obituaries. Oh, who's died today, right? And it's sort of similar, I guess. Maybe that's morally questionable.
You don't get points in the obituaries, though. Do they write at the end of it 15 points?
Yeah. Well, maybe they should have done it. Do fantasy obituary
fantasy
or something like that.
Yeah.
So anyway, I made mention of it.
Watching a QI the other week. Randomly, and they had a thing on there about obituaries and like the secret code in the language used in obituaries, about like when they say a certain thing it means something. Like,
oh really?
One of them was like, yeah, he was a fucking arsehole, basically, but that's a nice way of saying it.
Yeah, well, it's difficult, isn't it, when really I mean, I've always tried and think that, not to speak ill of the dead. It's really difficult when people were absolute shitheads. But yeah. Anyway, Yeah, my morals have been in turmoil the last few weeks. Not really.
So have you had any wins yet then?
No wins. I've got Ozzy Osbourne on there, who's
Oh,
not.
mate,
He's been in
he
it.
should have died a long time ago, let's be honest.
I know he should have. He could have been on there for 20 years, couldn't he? Right, but
He's probably on
yeah,
someone's list every year because it's just like, this has got to be the year. This has got to be the year.
I tried to dig up my list before we started, but I couldn't find it. But I do know I have all of the remaining Ghostbusters are on my list.
Who are remaining?
Bill Murray and
Bill
Dan
Murray,
Aykroyd
yeah.
and Ernie Hudson.
Who
And
died?
Harold Ramis died
Oh yeah.
a few years ago because his son.
Not the real
No,
Ghostbusters.
it was Ivan Reitman's son, wasn't it? Not Harold Ramis' son. And who else have I got on there? Nicole Kidman was an outsider.
What?
Well, the thing is, I thought I definitely wanted to populate with some women, trying not to be sexist and have an all male list, and then just some outsiders. Not too old, not super young, but
J.K. Rowling in there.
No, I didn't put.
Be quite a
J.K.
few
Rowling.
cheers if she
did
went.
I?
I think.
Maybe I did. I don't know. I can't remember.
I like the idea of the bonus.
If they get
points.
murdered, does it still count?
Well, that's it. Yeah, like
Or
died
they
in
just got to go
suspicious
natural
It
causes.
depends how much you want to win, right? I mean, that's
It's like life insurance or something.
Yeah.
everyone
Well,
turns into some sort of serial killer in December.
I don't know if self-inflicted you'll get bonus points or minus points. I don't know, or like cancer's like definitely no fucking bonus points because everyone dies of that nowadays.
Well, I mean, it was interesting because some of the people. There's one guy who's a doctor, and he was smart. He was looking hardcore at people who had I think Michael Flatley made some people's list because he's been diagnosed with pretty aggressive cancer or something like that. And there was somebody else who did a list, and they went for tons of rappers because, they're like young. They're going to get you a load of points, and they're high risk, I guess. I don't know.
There seems to be quite a few have died. It's just picking the right one, isn't it? I guess. This is so wrong. This is so fucking wrong.
It's so wrong. Isn't it?
And see how much you can span Reddit or 4chan with fucking
Yeah,
DJ.
I will. So I'll try and grab the list and bring that out. But there may be some updates going forward as we progress through the year of death, the year of the death pool.
Yeah.
Dreadful, isn't it? Dave, you've got lots on your list.
I do have lots on my list. Yeah, because we had a week off, so I was like, oh, okay, I'll take note of some stuff. So, I've watched a couple of episodes of Tulsa King. Don't know if anybody's.
This is the Sylvester Stallone thing, is it?
This is the Sylvester Stallone thing on Amazon
Paramount, I think you'll find it is.
You know what I love about Dave when he talks about what he's watched on TV? You have no idea which way he's going to go with it. He could be going. He doesn't play. He doesn't reveal right until he needs to, whether it's crap or whether it's great. I love it. And I need a drum roll.
It's actually fucking excellent. Like I thought it was going to be really shit. But Sylvester Stallone is, he's getting
quite
on
old
a
now.
bit.
Is he on your list?
It could be. He's a not the best actor. Or I didn't think he was the best actor. He plays a really good character in the Tulsa King. Basically, he's a mafia, sort of high ranking mafia from New York who's just got out of prison for a murder that he didn't commit, but it was.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Well, no, he was keeping stum for someone else, for the family head.
He took the fall.
Yeah, so he's probably guilty of lots of other murders. But he's been away for such a long time. He comes out and they're like, "There's nothing for you here," and just send him off to Tulsa, like middle of nowhere, sort of Bible Belt of America. and he starts being Mafferish,
Mafferish.
being a Mafferoso in Tulsa, and it's really good actually. He plays it really well. The bloody dog jumping at the door. He the first episode is especially sort of eye-opening. Like, he's just come out of prison for 25 years of like doing 25 years away, and he's looking around, and it's the future, and it is the future. It's like, there's mobile phones, there's people going around on electric scooters, and there's no cabs around anymore. It's all Uber, and you've got to do it on your phone, and it's like actually looking at it his life now.
Is that the Uber product placement they put in there?
They did a really good job of hiding. Well, in one shot there was a Budweiser bottle, and then in the
Turned the
rest
wrong
of
way
the shot,
around.
they turned it around. They took the bits off. Yeah, but yeah, so they realised they shouldn't be product placing.
You don't find product
Budweiser.
placement on this show.
If anybody wants to sponsor us. So no, yeah, it. But not only that, he actually plays it really well. It's really funny. He's a really good character. So yeah, I watched 3 of 6 or 8 episodes, I think there is. But yeah, it's really good. I'm gonna continue watching that. Some of the other stuff I've been watching as well. I don't know if anybody else has watched Plebs.
Nope.
It's
I think I've heard of this.
It's a TV series where it's one of the guys from not Misfits. Oh fucking hell! I can't bloody remember. I'll remember his name in a second. Plebs. It is Tom Rosenthal from best known for Inbetweeners.
Okay.
That's it. But it's they sort of play characters in Rome, in Roman times, in like I don't know, 26
Pre-Jesus.
BC. Pre-Jesus, yeah. Before Christ. And it's
PJ.
about their relationship. Sort of, there's 3 characters, it's 5 series. It's not the best. It's not as good as the Inbetweeners, I don't think, but it's really nice how the characters sort of interact.
Is
with
it
each other.
adult?
It's adult, very adult. But they've done a movie this year. It came out in the cinema, apparently.
What?
A Plebs movie.
A Plebs movie, and it was basically ending of the TV series, and the movie was actually really good. But no, it's just been really easy to watch. Me and the missus have been watching it for the last couple of weeks. 20 minutes an episode. It's funny. There is some really funny moments in it. One of the characters called Stylax left after a couple of seasons, but he went on to play characters in Game of Thrones and like loads of other not big parts, but parts that
Parts where he definitely died, I would assume.
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, no, it's good. That was Plebs. And then the other thing I was going to talk about is I've been teaching, and me and my daughter have been learning about Docker and Portainer, which are used to instance install applications on servers.
What?
So it's basically
does it scrape movies from the internet and shit like that?
No, I'm sure there are applications to do that. It uses GitHub, which is like an application sort of repository.
It's a place where
Is that
people
where you
put
hang
bits of
out,
code.
Neil?
The GitHub, yeah. I've got a GitHub account as it goes.
But yeah, like the schools were striking on Wednesday. You probably know about this, Neil.
Yeah, they didn't strike for me.
I didn't know. The teachers were on strike, and Bella was given like about an hour's worth of homework, and she was just so bored. It's like, we can't really go out, you know. Me and Vic are working, so I got her access to my network attached storage, and that allows Docker and Portainer installs. So yeah, she was just watching some YouTube videos. She was watching a few things. She's set up like a dashboard that shows like all the information about the NAS itself, the health of it. She installed there's like privacy version, like private versions of Twitter. Well, it's not private versions. It's like privacy aware versions of Twitter and Reddit and YouTube. That it I don't know. It relays the information through like a central database, so it can't tell and it can't give you adverts for a lot of these things. So you can log into it or access Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube, but they don't sort of host adverts for you or scrape any of your private information. It was just setting up all that, and it was actually
When's she going to
really
start
clever.
hacking the FBI? That's what I know.
I don't fucking know.
I mean, that sounds extremely impressive, Dave. I have to say.
It was. It was like, I was like, oh, you know, just have a look, have a mess about with it. And she was watching videos, and she was following some.
She got access to your porn channel on the network now. Did you delete that before she went on there?
So, but no. So basically, and then she did all that, and that was great. And basically, she was like, I loved it, but I was worried about deleting everything off the network attached storage. And so I've worked out a way of creating a virtual network attached storage inside my network attached storage. So I've given her access to that.
It's like the Matrix.
It's basically it's not the Matrix. What's it? When they the dream inside a dream.
Like in Inception.
Inception, yeah.
Nasception.
Yeah. So yeah, she's got an admin account on that. So it's like it's a small space within the network attached storage that it acts as the network attached storage Synology system, and she can use all Docker and Portainer and set up all accounts on that. And it was just like it was really fun to go through with her. I was learning stuff as well, to be honest. But as you know, these kids do, they're just like, oh yeah, pick it up. I had no idea.
Well, that's very impressive.
So yeah, it was actually quite good. And actually, at the end of it, it was like, actually, I feel like she's learned something. Not just
this was better than going to school.
Yeah,
because you learn fuck all there.
Yeah. So
well, I mean, one of the nice things about that is, and it's like with my son playing games like Stellaris and whatever that have these economies and things like that. It's an affirmation that your child has capabilities, right? It's very easy if you just judge everything based on what they're doing at school. Sometimes it can be difficult to get a grasp of that. But when you see your kids doing something which you yourself would find challenging, because I'd certainly find it challenging to play Stellaris.
My daughter did the washing up the other day. I was quite impressed by it.
Well, I was going to say that. I mean, if I can get my kids to make a cup of tea, it's a victory. But
but no, it was really good actually. It was not, and it was nice to see that she actually like wanted to learn about this stuff.
Can she just do it now without referring to YouTube videos though, or is it like a copy and paste what they're doing on the YouTube? And...
No, she could probably like set up an install of like basically
on a fresh server sort of thing.
Yeah, she could set up a new instanced container and pull the application from GitHub to install it. Whether the setup or not, like she could do or not, I'm not sure. But no, she could definitely just spin up a new container and pull the install down on it.
Mm.
So yeah, it's good. It's really interesting. I wish I'd learned, like I'd had stuff like that I could do at her age. Only to be nefarious and get porn and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
My
So, yeah.
son's learning Python at school in computer
Oh.
science.
Hmm.
I'm not sure they've done much more than say print hello on a screen kind of thing, but
Yeah, well, Python's pretty.
yeah, I've got a
powerful.
load of resource about learning Python, but because I bought it on a Humble Bundle, but I never got around to it. So I've got a load of JavaScript shit as well. But it just looks like a mess to me. I just look at it and go, "What the fuck does that all mean?" It's literally like a foreign language.
Yeah.
Well, that's the difficulty with this stuff, unless you, I mean, YouTube's great because you can grab these videos that lead you through the hand. But when I was off last week, when I told you guys I was doing this training, this was all on microcontrollers that they use to control all the equipment that I sell. And I've been sent wiring diagrams. I have the microcontroller manuals or whatever, and I've had the manual for a year plus. And I tell you what, I open it up and I'm just like, what am I looking at here? Like, it's just these controllers are a good size with tons of connections on them, and there's all sort of configuration and integration and lots of logic, and the wiring diagrams for the equipment. I mean, you look as though you're just looking at something that could be it is a completely foreign language. But I've spent the last couple of weeks doing some sit-down sessions, and once you have someone leading you through it and you can ask them questions as well, that's a biggie, right? You can tailor every question. As soon as you have a question, you can get it answered by someone. It's been great, right? And so you underestimate what you can learn.
Yeah, I think a lot of this as well is actually getting an output. Like, what is it? What are you trying to get out of this? And as long as you've got an objective of, okay, right, I want to do this, like, and how do I get there?
Yeah.
Then that you're halfway.
Well, you have that driving you for a start, which helps, right?
Mm.
If you're being driven to do something. I mean, I'm being driven to do it because I'm being told to. But if
and you get paid to do it.
Well, that's a good driving force too.
But for me, it's like I want to use this stuff. Whereas my daughter, the driving force for her was like, I'm learning something new. What can I do with it? So she was doing these other things, and she's gone off and she's like looked at how to do TikTok. Apparently, TikTok has got one of these.
TikTok tells you how to do everything, apparently.
No, but this is a site that's not TikTok, but it pulls everything from TikTok. So it doesn't give you. Has it got an
API and all that shit?
I don't think it goes through the API, because the API is like it delivers all the adverts and everything to you. So but yeah, no, it's really handy. It's it's very interesting.
Yeah,
are they specific to networks then? Are they all that stuff? Or
the ones that I've been.
Can you do anything else anywhere else? Like,
yeah, so there's free there's free sort of well, you can use OpenAI. That's a hot topic at the moment. OpenAI to actually build a lot of this stuff for you. So you can say, I want to download this on this product, and it will write a script out for you, because it's learned how to do that through people training it. And yeah, like I've got a Synology NAS, and the stuff that you're learning is Synology based and how to use it that way. But there are free online sort of free containers that you can use, free Portainer, and free Docker that you can just learn to do this, and it sort of shows you. I don't think it's a persistent install, so you've only got the resource for a certain amount of time, but it's very small amount of space and memory that these things take up, which is why it's really handy to do it on my own network. Yeah. Right, I'm gonna let the dog out because she's fucking jumping at the door. But right, I'll let you
hoof the dog out. Open the door and hoof the dog. Okay. All right. Well, that's Neil. Did you have anything you wanted to add about what you've been doing?
I can't think of anything I've done all week, 2 weeks, other than
All right.
play video games.
And work.
Well, yeah, obviously.
Okay. Well, then let's move on to what we've been playing, and then if you don't mind, I'll get you to start.
Right. I've played a bit more Chrono Trigger, but I've not played loads. I've moved on a bit and started playing some Super Metroid on my old Vita. My retro game fix. That's my like. When I can't sleep, I keep my Vita by my bedside, and I'm like, fuck it, I'll just get that out for a bit and play on.
What was Super Metroid? Was that NES? SNES?
SNES, yeah. There may have, I don't know if there was a Metroid on the NES, but there's Super Metroid on the Super NES. But yeah, that's an old game. Plays all right though. Still, you know, it's a. There's a reason they're called Metroidvanias, I guess, these days, and that's where it came from, or part of it. But yeah, I can't really talk about it too much, as I haven't played loads. I just run around, going shooting doorways to go through them with various weapons and shoot some baddies, and I don't really know what I'm doing other than that. I'm just wandering around levels and shooting shit, trying not to die. Killed a couple of bosses.
I've gone back to the Metroid games. I know there's some good ones on the GBA. I think Fusion was on the GBA, which I really enjoyed at the time. I'm a little bit burned out on Metroidvanias at the moment. I think there's so many out there, and on Game Pass, there's no shortage of other ones.
Yeah, they're quite good these days.
Yeah,
they look a lot nicer. Have you played through Hollow Knight?
I played a lot of Hollow Knight. I did not finish it to my.
It's fucking hard, that game.
Yeah, I got to a point where I just couldn't. I was just like, okay, I'm done. I'm beaten. Yeah. My son beat it, and I think he tried to beat it on. There's a nightmare mode or something on it.
It's like super hard or whatever.
Yeah, he's got the patience of a saint. I don't know how he does it.
He's been playing that Terraria and all that crazy shit on like super hardcore mode as well, hasn't he?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't know. He's not my son. He's. Although saying that, I mean, there's times when I've got like my teeth stuck into something or whatever. He's just a little bit different, but yeah, he doesn't mind getting. He's got I would lose my shit, but maybe that's just decades of the world beating my spirit down. He's still young and full of hope for the future. I think like he's great patience. Very impressive when he takes these challenges on. Very much like his Uncle Matt.
Yeah, I think they played it together, haven't they? I think that too.
Yeah, those guys.
Yeah. There's a game that I've downloaded that Matt's well into, and he says, "Yeah, if you have a go, and we can get like a group going on it. It's Asia Wonders 3. So it's like a turn-based Civ / I don't know, BattleTech. You go into battles like BattleTech, but it's like Civilization in the overworld kind of thing. You're sort of building up. I don't know.
Okay. Can you go to war against each other?
Yeah. Then you go into battles against each other like BattleTech.
Oh, yeah, that's tempting. That would see.
It's all like orcs and elves and shit. So.
Oh yeah.
And big fuck off. Like
it's funny because if you tell me about that sort of game, I'm like, fuck that. I don't want to play that sort of game. But if you tell me that I can play that game and get an army and fight you, suddenly there's an interest in it, right?
Well, the 4th one's coming out in May.
Okay.
But I, for some reason, have it on Steam. Asia Wonders 3. I think it must have been free at some point, and I claimed it because I certainly didn't buy it either. I've had it in I don't think I did it at Humble Bundle. It must have been a freebie on Steam. But yeah, it was in my library, so I've installed that, but I ain't played that yet.
Okay.
What I have played, I moved my PlayStation. I don't know if I said this the other week. I've moved it from here, where I'm sitting now, up to my big TV. On my surround sound system.
Oh, I'm surprised it wasn't there already.
Oh no! It's just like I always just play here because my missus is always watching TV up there. So but since she started going to work, I'm like, maybe I might actually be able to get on the big TV and play some games now. And so I have done a few times.
Are you going to tell us how great it looks and sounds?
Maybe that might come up. I've started playing Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Oh,
And
okay.
I played Spider-Man on PS4, but I never finished it. And this is definitely more Spider-Man on PS4, but with Miles Morales. And it's a short game.
On
I don't-
PS4?
I'm not playing it on PS4. I'm playing it on PS5 now. It was part of it's part of PS Plus Extra or whatever. I
Right.
forgot. And yeah, it does look fucking amazing, I have to say. And surround sound is cool when you're swooshing around the city on your spiderweb ropes.
I guess.
Uh, So yeah, I've played. I think about 25%. It said complete through the main story. But yeah, it's just more Spider-Man, which was good anyway. And but you've got new abilities as Miles Morales because you can go invisible after a while, and you've got this Venom power that I don't think is in the first Spider-Man. I certainly don't remember it, where you can just like you got like electric shock power where you like build up a meter and then you like do this super fucking Venom punch and they just all like it's just fucking sparks flying and shit. It looks fucking mental. So yeah, it's pretty cool so far. Like I say, it does look pretty amazing on the OLED TV. I'm sure it looks pretty amazing without an OLED TV as well because it's like it's just like you walk like following the camera, like walking through, like it's sort of like a cutscene, and it kind of does that God of War thing where it swooshes behind the character, and then they stop, and you're supposed to carry on. So it's all like it's just really well made and super fucking smooth. I'm playing it on performance ray tracing mode, which I think is 60 FPS or whatever, because you can fucking play around with that bollocks now on consoles. And it's just it's a lot of fun swinging around the city, and then jumping into a big scrap with a load of people, using the webs to fucking like nick their weapons off them and then swing it around and batter them in the face with it. It's pretty cool. And it's not
What
easy.
resolution?
4K.
So running 4K 60 frames?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
And it's got a bit of ray tracing on it. It looks fucking amazing. Like I say, it does look really fucking good. I think like there's when you're swinging through the open world city, it's relatively simplistic, I would say, but it looks quite real as far as swinging through the Manhattan on a spiderweb rope thing looks, I guess. It looks like Spider-Man in the movies. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's just fun to fucking swing around and beat the shit out of bad dudes, and then listen to some cheesy story because he's like a 17-year-old kid. So it's a little bit teen cringe at times, but it's good.
Have they finally nailed down the swinging through the city? Because
I think they nailed that in the first one. It's just it feels good. Like, I think it would probably there's a bit more of the fucking fancy trigger stuff going on PS5 with the attention on the trigger, so you can kind of it's like. And there's definitely a bit of resistance through the trigger that changes. But you're like, you swing and you like swoosh along the ground, just like skimming the ground. Then you swing up and like let go, fly forward. Got like a press X and it will like shoot a web out in front of him and pull himself horizontally through the space. And then it doesn't matter where you are, where in the city. Like every time you go to like swing a rope, there's usually somewhere to pick it on it. It does all that shit. You don't have to aim all that. It's just automatic. And you just like do the swing and you fucking flying along. It's pretty cool. It does feel pretty good. So yeah, if you haven't played the Spider-Man games on PlayStation or PC now, they're on sale at the minute on Steam and Epic. I always thoroughly recommend them. They're very good, very fun. I did boat up. I always like Wipeout, whatever it's called on PlayStation console. So it's got like I can't remember what it's called on PS4. It's the Wipeout Collection or something. I've got like the Wipeout game that was on Vita and the HD and Fury that were on PS3. I think they've all been like up-resed and everything on PS4. And that is not super detailed again, but fucking hell, that game looks fucking amazing. and
It's got to sound amazing.
the sound
too.
is fucking awesome. I tell
Because
you,
that game was like, that was groundbreak. Wipeout, when Wipeout came on because
Yeah.
it was in the original PlayStation,
PS1,
wasn't
Yeah.
it?
yeah, was the original Wipeout.
Wipeout 2097 or something.
Well, 2097 was Wipeout 2, technically.
Yeah.
Oh, was
That
it?
was
I can't
sequel,
remember.
yeah.
Wipeout 1 was like, it had the instrumental Firestarter song, I think. Was that
They
the
just
one?
nailed the soundtrack.
And it was the soundtrack was awesome. And yeah, like,
All the
Well,
it was
funnily
all
enough,
Designers Republic design
yeah,
as well.
yeah.
well, the Wipeout actual was not advertised, but displayed in. I remember to go into a club, and they having PlayStations there with Wipeout set up with
Oh, yeah.
headsets and stuff. Yeah, like that was the main thing. It was they were selling the game on the back of the soundtrack and
Yeah,
the
make
sound.
no mistake. I can remember going to Ministry of Sound with Matt, and we were taking video games to Ministry of Sound to go for whatever reason. He blagged us in as a promo in there to take games or whatever like that.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was all,
You playing
all
Metal
tied
Gear
in.
Solid and Ministry of Sound?
I was not impressed with Ministry of Sound.
I've never been. But yeah, anyway, Wipeout, surround sound, big fat TV, awesome. It's not, I mean, it isn't, I don't know, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's fucking PS5. It's not, I don't think it's a special PS5 version or anything like that. It just looks amazing and sounds like you say, when you're hitting the zoom pads and everything, and it, full surround sound, and then you get shot from behind and you can hear it behind you, and all, it's pretty amazing. But I haven't played that. I literally had it on for about 10 minutes. I was just like, yeah, this is still cool. But yeah, I'll dabble with that every now and again. But I played another game. I've got two more. One with Dave last Friday, which was on stream. And we played some COD. DMZ. A bit more of that, because obviously we'd played with Mike, me and you, Fraser, the other week.
Yes, we played DMZ with Mike Chin. Yep.
And you two were a bit like, it was all right. But
I think
like,
I liked it more than Mike did. I listened to
Yeah.
Mike's review on the Veteran Gamers. He was not speaking very highly of it. I quite liked it.
Reluctantly.
But what worried me about it was that was our first game. I didn't get killed, and
oh, we did.
I picked you guys up a few times, picked Mike up a lot,
Yeah, Mike did die a lot.
and then we got out. And I'm just wondering, was it being kind to us because we were just noobs, or like, where is there more of a challenge to that? There must be, or is it like Mike was saying? Is it satisfying? Is it scratching an itch for people that just want to shoot bots and not have such an intense war zone?
Some of the bots are fucking hard though.
You can get swarmed by them if there's.
Well, it's just like they take a lot of shooting, because if like there's armored bots that turn up and they're like fucking.
Oh yeah.
Hard.
Yeah,
Right.
and boss bots and boss helicopters. Yeah.
Yeah, we were in a bit longer. We definitely spent a lot. We spent a lot. I don't know if there's a time. Is there a time limit on it?
Yeah, there's a time limit before the nuclear ring expands, and you either get out or you don't, and you die in the nuclear fallout.
Because it just felt like there was no like gas. It didn't feel. I don't know. It didn't feel like we were under any pressure from a location point of view, like a gas cloud bringing you into the center altogether, pushing you all together.
Well, no, it's the opposite. Is a gas cloud starts in the center somewhere and expands out.
Right.
But I was pushing us towards exits before that time have run out. And
so you've obviously played it a bit more and know a bit more about what's going on. But I was just like running around shooting things, and
which is also very fun.
It's a lot more fun than playing multiplayer. I can assure you of that. Because you can because there's not the areas are much bigger, so if you've got a bit of armor on, you might escape with your life when someone clocks you and shoots at you. And then you've got a chance to get away, get healed up before you then re-enter the fray, and you're not swarmed by fucking just non-stop bullets which is what a normal multiplayer game of COD is. So yeah, it was definitely got potential. I think to play. I'll definitely play a few more games. I haven't played it since.
I have not uninstalled it.
So I'm definitely up for playing a bit more of that. It's I don't think it will take over my life, but I certainly would. If anyone says fancy some COD, I'd be like, yeah, all right then. I think I will.
Yeah, that's exactly it's exactly I'm the same. It's like it's there ready to go if somebody says, it's like keeping PUBG. It's there ready to go in case the consensus is that's what we're playing, right?
Yeah. So yeah, it's decent.
Even though I never want to play PUBG again.
No.
Although saying that, like, oh man, I played the other day and we got in a car and I just got shot out of the car. And I'm like, I've just died through no fault of my own. It was just so frustrating. And then I got to sit there waiting another 10, 15 minutes while the other guys play out the game. Although saying that, the next game we got a chicken dinner, so I don't know what I'm complaining about. But...
yeah, I don't know. I think I'm off PUBG. I've got it installed, but every time it goes for an update, and I'm like, I just uninstall it.
Customs is fun though when we play customs, so it's worth keeping it in there.
Is it though? I'm not sure it is.
If you make it to the last 2 or 3 versus Kevin Sean, yes.
Or Arnie.
Yeah, or Arnie. Oh god, yeah, that's it.
Or me.
Yeah, okay.
if you're on one, yeah.
The guns are shit in COD and fucking PUBG.
Oh no, they're not. That's the best thing about PUBG.
No,
the guns are great.
No, they're shit. That's no fun.
Okay, all right.
They're shitter. They're not as shit as the ones in Tarkov. I can tell you that. Because you shoot things in Tarkov and they don't fucking even hit them. You're like, what the fuck? Why is this not?
Well, the problem with PUBG is it's got bullet drop, it's got bullet travel. I mean, the physics, gun physics in PUBG are.
They've got really slow bullets, apparently. Like, bullets are really slow in real life. I'm like, are they really that slow? Because that's fucking slow.
I don't know what to tell you.
I fancy my chances.
Like, what's the bullet travel in something like COD, though? There's bullet travel. Is there bullet travel in COD?
There is, yeah. Yeah, it's not as egregious. Yeah, there is, yeah. I was playing Ground War, which is like the large scale
Battlefield version.
The Battlefield version of it, and yeah, there's definitely.
Well, it's not the Battlefield version. It's their version of Battlefield, is what I mean.
It's their version of Battlefield. There's bullet drop and there's not.
Is there bullet drop? I don't know if there's bullet drop. Is there?
There is, definitely is.
Or just on snipers?
No, on all. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was trying to get my long shots in to get platinum on some assault rifles, and I was having to aim quite a lot higher. Yeah. I don't know if it's just that mode or I don't know, but yeah, I did notice it the other day because I'm still playing COD multiplayer, and yeah, I'm sort of going down the rabbit hole of trying to upgrade all the weapons to platinum, because why not? Fuck it.
Why not?
Need a purpose.
I can give you a reason. It's fucking miserable.
Yeah, it is a bit. But it's just good to have something on YouTube or on Netflix on the other screen, and I'm just playing along. Like, died.
Come and play Destiny.
Destiny's worse. I can't stand Destiny or Halo with the time to kill on those. It's just it feels like you have to have a sustained fire on somebody for like 5 seconds.
Not in Destiny, it doesn't.
Well, it depends. It depends if you're getting like against people with snipers or hand cannons, because everything else is like you've got to drain down their shields, you've got to drain down their health, and yeah, it's like.
I think the time to kill in Destiny, other than instant headshots, is about 1 second.
I don't know. It just feels like Halo was the same for me. I just couldn't stand. It was such a long amount of time of sustained fire on somebody to actually kill them.
Thing is, if you got armored up in COD now, I don't know how it's like a multiplayer, but in the DMZ and fucking Warzone, if you're fully armored up, it takes some fucking shooting. To
Oh,
get
yeah,
someone
no,
knocked in that.
but I think when you're fully armored up, at least you know they've had like they've gone around, they've done the missions, they've looted, they've earned their way up to having so much armor. Whereas the standard 1 level armor goes down extremely quickly, and then once somebody's armor's off, even free plays, it's like a couple of shots. As long as you're relatively close, and they're dead. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know. It's just always been one of my things. Is like I just never got on with the time to kill for Destiny or Halo.
All right.
That's my other game. Not Halo. I have played a bit of Halo. I'm not talking about that. I'm back in on the Destiny thing big time.
Oh, jeez, he's back on the crack pipe.
I bought the season pass. Bought me some silver. Spent 13 quid on some silver and in notes, so I can drink a hot chocolate in the game now. And I bought the season pass, and it opens up a bit more content, which is actually pretty fun.
Weren't you the one who was always going on to me about buying season passes and things like that?
Yeah, but you buy season passes for fucking PUBG, which is just total shit.
You know what? You need to stop saying stuff is shit.
All right. Well, the cosmetics were shit in PUBG.
There was more to it than that. It gave you challenges and things.
Yeah,
like
exactly. To get some shitty cosmetics at the end of it. There was the end goal was to basically, other than complete the season pass, which got you some cosmetic shit and stupid dances. Which
All right, everyone. That stuff that I bought because I enjoyed it apparently was shit.
There was no extra content, is what I'm saying. Like, you didn't get anything other than cosmetics.
But that is extra content, isn't it? Though that's the point. Like,
it
there
doesn't
was
do
stuff
anything.
to
You can't do anything different in PUBG.
All right. Okay, you're right. You're right. Carry
I'm
on.
saying, that's what I'm saying.
No, I know. I was mistaken. I don't know why I was spending my money on it. Obviously, I wasn't enjoying it.
That's what you enjoyed. That's fine.
Neil's dissing you, but he's openly admitted to buying something that allows him to drink
a hot chocolate.
That was a silly thing that came with it. I didn't care.
All right, the guns in PUBG are shit. Everything's shit.
The guns in Destiny are fucking awesome.
Okay, all right.
And there's actual, like, when you buy the season pass, you get new things to do, as in literally a whole new thing, like, that isn't in the game normally. New locations to visit and stuff like that. So that's what I'm saying, is like the differences, which maybe people don't.
Here's a suggestion. You could sit there and tell us why the thing you're buying is good, rather than telling us why the thing we bought is shit. How about that?
So you think you bought that was shit? Okay, so like I said, there's a whole new mode called Heist Battleground, and yeah, you're just doing the same thing, like shooting fucking baddies, but it's in all new locations. You get new cosmetics, new weapons that you can't get otherwise, new armor, and the actual thing you're doing is a lot of fun, and it's quite challenging at times as well. It's actually not. It's like going in. I'm at like power level 1586 or whatever now. The activity is a power level 1580. So whereas a lot of the activities that I had been doing, I was just running around fucking destroying everything because I was so high above the power level that you needed to be to do that. Now it's actually a bit of a challenge, and you have to, like, when you get shot, it fucking hurts, and you have to run away and like hide in a corner and get healed up before you go back into the fray, or die occasionally and wait for your mate to come and revive you. Your mate, as in rando on the internet, who knows what they're doing.
Wait, really? You don't have any real friends to play with?
Well, there's a few people playing Destiny for sure. I know Gary got it,
he doesn't know what he's doing.
They've got Beyond Light's coming to PS Plus next week, so you can get access to some of the stuff that was locked off before that.
I believe my son has been roped into some Destiny clan. as
He's
well.
an
that
hour
you're all
clan.
involved in.
He's an
God.
hour clan. Yeah, so we have a
Yeah,
Destiny clan.
that was Neil roping
No, it
him
wasn't
in.
me.
Come on,
Gary is
on.
guilty of setting up. He was like, "Oh, I could set up a whole new clan for us." It was like, "All right then."
Stan. I'm just going to tell you this, okay? Everything your dad does is shit. Like he's going to say it's not, but trust me,
It
everything
is.
your dad does is shit.
And he's
Don't
going to
listen to
say,
him.
"Yeah, I know. That's why I play all these other games."
He's a teenager. Of course, he's going to say that.
So yeah, I just fully in like playing. Oh man, Iron Banner's on at the minute, and that is quite annoying at times because I played a game earlier and I was just getting absolutely just. It was like the Call of Duty experience. I was just like spawn, get a couple of shots on someone, and get absolutely wrecked. I was like, fucking hell! I was like, are these guys cheating or what? Because I'm just getting destroyed. And then I looked at our team and I was like, we were actually quite close as a team. I was like, no, I'm just shit. Apparently, like I'm getting destroyed, but our team is quite close to them. So sometimes it's just you get into a game and it's just everyone's fucking amazing, and you're like, oh, okay, well, this is going to be one of them games. But then other games you go in and you're the amazing one, and it's great, and you fucking destroy everybody.
Yeah, sounds familiar.
So I've been playing. I think I said about it recently. They've got a new competitive competitive PvP playlist where it actually takes a bit longer to get into a game, but it's matching your skill. So you get into competitive. Competitive is the name of the game because like you are matched against people of your skill level, whereas the standard like Iron Banner but the matchmaking is based on getting you into games quick. So one game you could be playing like a load of noobs, and the next game you'll be playing like a six stacker who all fucking know what they're doing, have been playing for like 10 years or 8 years or whatever, and fucking just destroy everybody. So it's variable on the amount of fun you can have on the PvP side, but in the PvE, I just love playing that style of game, like just going in. The mechanics don't really change. You know what you're doing. It's just different bosses, different enemies to kill all the time, and I just find it a lot of fun. Just get a lot of joy. There's a couple of guns that just feel and sound absolutely awesome.
Well, yeah, you was playing it the other day, wasn't you? On before we went on DMZ, and I was watching that, and yeah, it was like, oh, I like this gun.
Yeah, there's the Dead Man's Tale is an exotic scout rifle, so it's like a single shot rifle, and it's in the style of a Winchester. So it just absolutely slaps. So you get in the headshot, it's like a really old school sounding gun. And then when you reload, it's like literally like he levers it and puts bullets in individually as you reload it. And then like just like a little flip when you've reloaded. And it's just so good. So fucking good. Some of the guns are just awesome. And there's a whole load of new stuff coming at the end of the month because it's the new expansion comes out on the 28th, which I've pre-ordered and bought. And then I've got the first season included in that, apparently. I didn't realise. But yeah, so there's a whole new ability class coming, no new location, and new shit to do, new baddies. So I'm really looking forward to that.
So it's still really going for it then.
Yeah.
Isn't it? And did you say 8 years Destiny's been around now?
2014, I think it came out, Destiny 1. And I don't know when Destiny 2 came out, but it's like...
Was it really 2014?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Yeah. I'm not sure when Destiny 2 launched, but exactly. But there's been a load of live service games shutting down recently. Because some people who keep trying, like there's a few that are like Fortnite. You call that PUBG, I guess now, can't you? It's free to play.
No, because PUBG is shit, but Fortnite's
it is,
right.
but you know, PUBG is a free to play game, is it now?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like Destiny's a free to play game now. Well, it's free to get in anyway, but you have to buy the campaigns or the seasons.
I think they should really rename it Free to Engage.
Yeah,
Not
free to start.
Yeah.
But yeah, like, I've seen a load of them. Like people keep trying to bring these forever games out, but people have already got their forever games because they've been out. Like people play Fortnite, people play or Overwatch 2, I guess, is the latest one. That's a big one because it's free now. But all the kids are playing Overwatch 2. It seems my boy's playing that with all of his mates.
Oh yeah, it's the new hotness, is it?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about that, but it's just like something they can play for free, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, but you can spend a shitload of money on it as well, I guess. But yeah, I'll be playing. Like I say, I'm about a third of the way through the battle pass that comes with the season. But there's still loads and loads of quests to do because I'm a bit behind because it came out a while ago. So I've got catching up to do. It's on week 9 or 10 of the season, and I've only bought it in week 8. So I've got a lot of catching. All the stuff that was there for those weeks is still there. I just got to progress through it. But yeah, just get on Destiny 2.
Yeah, it's not going to happen. Guess why?
You can have custom games, custom PvP games.
All right. Anything else?
I think that's it on my busy week too. That's why I haven't watched any TV because I've just been playing loads of fucking games.
Well, we should say that we've been playing quite a bit of Hunt. You've been pulled into some games on Hunt. I think you've been in. Would it be fair to say that you've enjoyed the games you've been playing with
Some
us
of them.
more than the last? In general, though, like better
Yeah.
than when you left Hunt, because you did have a bit of a hiatus.
I don't know why I stopped playing. I was just played a lot of it in a very short space of time. It was like,
Yeah, you played a lot more of it than I give you credit for.
I like the way that Fraser's like one of those questionnaires after you've done a Teams call or something. Rate your experience.
Yeah, please rate your experience. See how we can make it better. Well, I'm playing a ton of it. I'm going to talk about it, even though it wasn't on my list. But I've been playing a ton of it, and I've fallen into a groove of getting some games in the morning with Gary and Matt, and then maybe some games in the afternoon with whoever's around. And Neil, you've jumped into a few with us, and it feels like. And I think we've had this discussion before, of course, numerous times. Where you play with Matt, you're getting pulled up into higher ranks, and it's a bit more of.
He joined the lobby today, and he was a 5-star, and I was like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!"
It's tough. Did we play? Oh, we played this morning, didn't we?
Yeah.
Right. And we got killed, and I got hunted down like a dog again, right, by the players.
I got instantly headshot twice in 2 games. I was like, there's a guy, bang, dead. For fuck's sake.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough. Whereas when we play sort of with just you or with just Gary or maybe somebody else, when we're playing in lower ranked games, you can feel the difference, right? And you've got a chance. And maybe psychologically there's something in that too, in that we feel like we're playing in lower ranked games and we're a bit more gung ho and we're up for the fights and stuff. But I enjoy it either way. It's a nice balance to play both types of games. I like playing the strategic games with Matt, maybe more of a trapping game. But it's been good. We finished the event.
The season pass.
It's not really. Is it a season pass? It's not really a season. It's an event pass.
It's basically the same thing.
Yeah. Finished that. Really enjoyed it. Gained
some nice cosmetics.
Nice cosmetics. Obviously, it was shit, wasn't it, Neil?
It wasn't shit. No, because
why wasn't
this
one
cool
shit
gun
then?
that I couldn't get because he had it in the event pass. I was like, He's like, yeah, I've got this bolt action Springfield. I was like, all right. How'd you get that then? Oh, it's in the event pass. I was like, oh. He's like, yeah, you probably left it too late now. I was like, for fuck's sake.
There's not much of that in there, though. A lot of it seems to be.
At the end of the event, it'll all be in the pool anyway. I know that's the good thing they do. It's like after the event, everything that was in there is available afterwards. You just have to grind it out.
And the interesting thing is this event brought new mechanics. So there is a death cheat mechanic and there's a self-revive and all these sorts of things, which have really changed the face of the game. So it's going to be interesting to see what happens in 2 weeks when that event finishes. I think a lot of people at Crytek are going to be sitting around analyzing a lot of Reddit threads and a lot of feedback from customers and data and whatnot to figure out if there's going to, if they make changes to the mechanics.
Does it feel like it's still a very active game then? Because it is quite an old one.
Yeah, absolutely. But the thing is, the games are only max 12 people anyway.
Right.
So you never, to find yourself in a game where the lobby isn't full, is very rare,
Mm.
very rare.
And I suppose
and
it's very difficult to understand like how full the lobbies are because there's no information about how many people are in a game, where they
no,
start.
You find
No,
out at the
they-
end. You find out at the
you
end.
find
of
out
every
at the
game.
end. I can tell you, I can't even remember the last time we didn't have a full lobby.
The only time
Uh,
you have less than full, I think, is when you get a few solos in the mix.
Right.
Right.
When some people
Right.
choose to run on their own, then you might get,
Yeah.
say, 11 in a lobby, or 10 if there's a couple of solos.
I know we had one game. The only time I can remember, there was one game Matt and I were playing, and the two of us rolled up into this complex, and we realized there was a guy there, and I went to challenge him. I can't remember whether he killed me, or I ran into a trap. I can't remember. I think he killed me, and then Matt killed him, and then Matt, on his way to revive me, hit a trap that the guy had laid and got killed. And so that was the end of our game, and we loaded up the stats at the end, and there were only the three of us in that whole game. So if Matt had revived me, we would have had the whole map, all the bosses to ourselves. We were gutted, absolutely gutted.
That's bizarre. There's a regularly around 40,000 people, it looks like, on Steam. I don't know. That's the last time I checked.
Yeah.
So there's enough.
I mean, I've never had to pay attention to that fact. It wasn't like PUBG where you were keeping. I mean, obviously, in the early days of PUBG, the numbers were insane. But nowadays, I mean, trying to fill a lobby with 100 people in PUBG, they do fill, but they don't fill as quick as they used to. But that's Hunt. Shall I just carry on with what I've got? Is that okay?
Mm-hmm.
I was listening to a podcast the other day, and they were talking. It was a Game of the Year podcast on the Player One podcast, and somebody had said they were playing the Kirby game.
Switch.
I can't even. The Switch Kirby, new Kirby. I can't even remember what it's called.
I've heard it's very good.
I heard it was very good, so I went to my library and I put it on. I asked to reserve it, and it came in the other day, a week ago tomorrow, and because I got to take it back. And so I went and picked it up, and I was like quite excited, right? I mean, Kirby's it's a first-party title, isn't it?
I don't know, to be honest.
Yeah.
Isn't it their
I've
first
never
party?
played
That's
a
the first
Kirby.
party.
Never
No, I'd
played
never
one.
played a Kirby, I don't think. Or maybe I'd dipped my toe in very briefly on one because they're side-scrolling by their
This one
very
isn't, is
nature.
it?
But no, this one is more like 3D, but it's almost like you're looking down. It's like you're looking at Super Mario Odyssey, but instead of having a lot of the world, it's probably a bit like Super Mario 3D World in that you're limited in where you can go. Your path is sort of set out for you, but there's lots of little nooks and crannies and things to go. Anyway, the bottom line is, I thought it was just absolute dog shit. I don't understand what the appeal was. Honestly.
You eat things and then shoot them out, do you? Is Kirby? Is that right? Something like that?
Yeah, I mean, he does this. I mean, the thing, let me
He's
say,
like
I don't want to
Yoshi.
follow. Yeah, I need to be careful here because I've called Neil out for saying that things are shit, right? So I don't want to be that guy.
Sorry,
And by that guy, I mean Neil.
the right one.
To me, like I played it and it's like, it's very cutesy. It's very polished. I guess if you're a Kirby fan, it's Kirby greatness. But as a game, it was so boring and so simple. I'm like, who this can't be for me. Like, this can't be for me. This must be for kids, right? And somebody, no doubt, somewhere on, well, most video games are for kids anyway. Well, that's not true. We all know that's not true. But the simplicity of this game just makes me think this must be for young kids. Like, and so now I'm questioning this podcast that I listen to. It's like,
This is not the first time you've questioned this podcast, if I recall.
I'm always questioning this podcast, and they do things like this to really make me question the podcast. It's like they really know their stuff. But how can you be a gamer for decades and find this game interesting? It baffles me. Like, it's too simple and too basic. I don't know. It's beyond me. I just don't get it. It's like
I-
it's not up there with Mario. It wasn't challenging. It was boring. Actually, to be fair, I didn't really like the way the camera was laid out. I didn't like the fact that he suddenly inhales a car or a soda machine thing like that and
See,
spits.
that sounds
I mean,
funny.
I guess
It sounds funny.
it does sound funny, but it just wasn't it just wasn't fun to play. And it just it bothered me because it was put on such a pedestal by these other guys. And it's just like, that's really the best you could get out of the year, right? For your games of the year? Really? That one
Well,
made
did
your
they not play
list?
Elden Ring?
Anyway, so that sort of bugged me a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. It's just like, if my kids were still tiny, they'd be all over it. Great. Fill your boots. But it's just, no, I don't know. So that was a little bit disappointing. I've been sifting through Game Pass,
Yeah.
trying to find things to play. I've dipped my toe in the water of a ton of games, and a few, and
Have
I'm
you
not
not
even
played that
mentioning.
Hi-Fi Rush yet?
I played that, didn't like that. I lasted about a
Oh.
minute before I just went, no. But here's the thing, Neil, and this is going to open up the whole discussion. And here's a podcast that I do listen to that I like, which is the CAGcast. And I think I could be best friends with GPD. I really do, because he summed up what I am feeling right now, in that we've been around too long now.
You've seen it
And
all.
where is the new stuff, right?
Seen Destiny.
Well, why didn't you say so?
I fucking did.
Oh. So I don't know. I just finding it difficult to load something up and find anything that interests me. Like, poise, and I don't know what it is. I just like fighting with people. I like fighting against people, battling people. But what game could scratch that itch, Neil?
I don't know.
So I don't know. I just think so. Hi-Fi Rush. It was like, I don't like rhythm games anyway. So that was
Yeah, but
off the
it's the most forgiving river game you'll ever play, because you don't actually
It's
have
funny.
to have any rhythm.
It's funny
So-
because Fraser, you're the most musically competent, and you are the audiophile on this podcast.
okay.
You are the person that like is most into music,
Yeah, but he doesn't
And
like that music.
and you hate rhythm games, and like, yeah, it's so funny.
This doesn't
I
have
tried
any
to
mad
play
banging
Cryptid.
techno in them.
I tried to play Crypt of the Necromancer the other day. I was like,
Yeah.
I lasted 10 seconds from it.
Really? Oh,
Okay.
okay. That is heavily sort of inspired by
Yeah.
music
and beats and move to the beats, and yeah.
I forgot I played Hi-Fi Rush. I guess that says something about it. But it is actually, I think it's quite fun. It's super simple to start with, and it looks fucking great. It looks like a cartoon. So it's like, I don't know. It's not
I
going to
don't
be for
know.
you.
I think
obviously,
the problem, I think one of the problems is, and this is me talking about myself now, is that like when I play something like Hunt, or we play like DMZ and we're playing together, or we're doing stuff, or most of those games or whatever, those games take up a big chunk of my time during the week, right? At least an hour or two a day. And so
before breakfast.
so there's not much time left. If I'm going to move on and play something else, like sit down on the sofa and load up my Xbox and find something else to play, it has got to be something really good to be worthy of my time. Now, is that me being old and jaded? A little bit, maybe. Or is it me being old and busy? Right? Like time is limited. And so I've got an hour or two invested in the games that I'm really enjoying, and I don't have to make an effort to play those games. I'm drawn and want to play them. And so there's other things to do, right? It's the same with TV, right? It has to, I don't know. Maybe I'm just getting old and crotchety.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Mm.
Anyway, so I loaded up Recompile, which I remember Pilch played this. Do you remember?
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, I quite like that, actually. I started it and I was like, ugh.
I seem to recall he didn't like it. But
Yeah, I quite liked it. I quite like the. It's not good. It's not a great game. No, it's okay. It's not a great game, but I really like the atmosphere. I really like the way they've done it. It's you get a really good.
Is it like Tron, isn't it? A bit like Tron.
Yeah, it's got that sort of same sort of feel where you're obviously some sort of computer program or something that looks a little bit like a human, which is dropped into this sort of big open space, which it does a very good job of making you feel like you're on the inside of some sort of big computer network or something like that, and you're running around. It's a platformer at the end of the day. It's very dark, and that accentuates the sort of bright, spritey feel of your character, and things like the weapons that when you fire, bullet casings are all bright pink and fly off everywhere, and the enemies have it's nice. Tron-y like looking bright colors and dark contrasting with dark space.
Terrible acting in there as well.
I don't know. I think it's okay. The camera wasn't. I don't like the camera. I find they just didn't nail the right stick camera. It feels I need to see maybe if I go in and can make an adjustment to that. It feels a little bit too brutal. Like when you're moving.
Wild swings over.
Wild swings, yeah, like when you're just suddenly trying to platform around some pipe work or something that you're trying to get up. The platforming itself is quite forgiving. It doesn't feel super tight, but at the same time, I think its looseness is in the fact that it's quite forgiving when you're running on pipes and things like that. And then it's got some really just cool ambient music, which I thought was pretty nice. So I actually did just sort of sit back and I relaxed playing it, and it just overall atmospherically I quite enjoyed it. So I've got a feeling that's leaving Game Pass. That was the funny thing. I now look at what's leaving Game Pass, and that incentivizes me to play the game.
Nobody saves the world.
Not what's new, but what's going.
Yeah, what's going? Yeah, Nobody Saves the World. I played quite a bit of that, and it was pretty neat, but I didn't feel like I wanted to keep playing it. That game would have been great on the 360 when
I think it was still pretty great if you got into it.
Oh, absolutely. Don't get me wrong. I mean, but I think that game would have been great in something like the 360 era or the Xbox One era when we didn't have games coming out of our ear holes, right? We're in a place right now where we're really ruined by Game Pass and the amount of games that are out there and the amount of games that are there given away by Epic and for free here and whatever. I mean, some people might sort of say we're living the best years of our life. There was something to be said when times were leaner with games, and so therefore you treated them with a little bit more appreciation, I think.
You actually read a magazine before you went and bought one.
Yeah, that too. So Recompile is okay. And then the other thing that I fired up was GoldenEye, which I saw landed on Game Pass. I don't know what I heard it was coming. I sort of thought that it was going to be a newer version. Turns out, yeah, I thought it was going to be like a remaster. It's not a remaster, though, is it? Oh,
no. Well,
no,
apparently you played it on Xbox, did you?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, on the Nintendo, while you can play online, it's like proper old school controls on the Nintendo, whereas on the Xbox it's been modernized control system wise, at least.
Yeah, well, it doesn't matter because it's just awful. And I'm not taking anything away from GoldenEye, right? I mean, it's back in the day, it was the best thing since sliced bread, and I played a ton of it, and I had hours and hours and hours of tremendous fun playing that game with other people, couch co-op. And I loved the single player experience on it too. I absolutely loved it. I can remember the first time you get that sort of sniper rifle and you're trying to, shoot people off the bridge or the dam or whatever.
With your janky N64 controller.
With your janky 6, but it worked, and at the time it was just brilliant, and they obviously were trailblazing there with what they were doing with it.
Then you played a game on the PS2 or whatever and went, you got this other stick that actually makes things good.
Yeah. But yeah, God, they just need to just forget it, right? I mean, I would love to see the figures on people, on how much time, on the average amount of time people are going to put into that.
No one's
know.
playing that. Well, only weirdos are playing that till the end. But
God, you'd have to like.
are you saying? Let me get this right. Are you saying GoldenEye shit? Is that what you're saying?
No,
Oh,
I'm not.
an important clarification. I felt.
I'm going to try not to say things like that. But
I'll try better in
What I
future.
will say is,
But
I
PUBG is
really,
shit.
I appreciated the time that I spent and the
In 1995 or whatever.
and the company that I'd spent and the time I had with it. I cannot. I think I
can.
went back to I went back to GoldenEye 6 or 7 years ago. I plugged my N64, or I got an N64 and I plugged it in and I played it. It was not how I
it's
remembered
not good, is it? It's not. And the
Have you
thing
played
is,
Metal
I
Gear
mean,
Solid 1 recently?
it.
I'd be interested to hear your thoughts on that.
Metal Gear
modern
Solid
era.
1, yeah, but the problem with GoldenEye and this is that it offered an experience that not a lot of people were getting, right? You know, there were first person shooters around. It
If
was
you had a
early
PC,
days.
you had the best of those things at that time.
Yeah,
Sure.
well, exactly. PC, you know, people who were PCing back in the day, but that
not really though. You didn't have your mates around playing it. You didn't
You did.
have Doom or
No, you had them online.
That's
Unreal.
true. That's true. But
Unreal.
even Doom wasn't as good as GoldenEye in terms of like, you know, freedom of movement or whatever, or you know, that ability to look around all over the place and zoom in and I mean, it was a different experience. So GoldenEye gave something to gamers that they hadn't really had before.
So what else was
which
around then? Surely, like that is what is N64 time? What else, what other consoles were around? Was that PlayStation time?
PS1, yeah.
PS1?
Yeah, PlayStation.
What, Sega
I
Saturn?
think it was a little bit. I think it was a little bit before PlayStation.
Not much though.
Wow.
I don't think.
Because PS1 launched with no analog sticks, didn't it? So that
But don't get me. But here's the thing. Like I just think it's GoldenEye gave people something that was completely different. It gave them an experience that was completely different. But ultimately, it wasn't that great. We didn't know that at the time because we didn't really have anything better. But I think that shows you when you go back to games that really were the best that they could be on those platforms or consoles before, like the games that were the best that they could be have survived the test of time and can still be considered fun games.
Is there
to
anything
play.
on the N64 that you could say that then? Do you think Mario 64 is actually any good? I don't know if it is.
I was never a fan.
Is what else on N64 was actually
Mario
good?
Kart.
Mario
Kart was good.
Wave Race.
Wave Race wasn't great. If you played that now, you'd be like, "This is shit." I reckon.
I don't know. Dynamic courses. I don't know.
I'm not seeing that. I'm seeing. I played Wipeout the other day. I think that stands the test of time because that's basically an old game that I was playing the other day. It's just been like tickled up a bit to make it look a bit nicer.
Pilot Wing 64. That was
Banjo.
Fucking Banjo shit, mate. That is shit. Sorry.
Yes, they're saying that some of the rare games were pretty good.
It's fucking awful. Go play it again. You can play it now.
No, but maybe that's
replay on Game Pass. It's fucking awful.
I know.
Well, that's it. Like we were pumping in like 50 quid, 60 quid a game.
You had to enjoy it even if it was shit.
Yeah.
When you were paying 60 quid a game in those days.
Well, that's it. You had such an investment. It's like I've like this is my pocket money for.
This is my year's game, so I'm gonna have to fucking play it.
Yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that's yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, old game is old.
Yeah, I played it on touch controls via cloud streaming. I can assure you that is the shittest way to play GoldenEye ever. Even shitter than the N64 controller.
Nice.
Well, at least you didn't play it on mobile over a streaming device.
That's exactly what I just said. I did.
Oh, you did that?
Yes, that's how I played it.
Oh fucking hell! Okay.
I didn't. I
Yeah.
didn't. I did it on a home Wi-Fi, so it wasn't over 5G, which would probably been fine anyway. But yeah, fucking don't do that on your phone. It's fucking awful
No.
with touch
No.
controls. Ugh.
Anyway, that's all I got for now. Dave.
Me. So yeah, spoke about card. I've been trying to platinum some guns. I've been playing a little bit of Satisfactory. I've been purposefully avoiding it because I know how bad I am.
I know how bad you
Um,
are because I was at work the other night and it said you were on 25 minutes before I looked at my phone and it was fucking 3:30 in the morning.
yeah, this is why I avoid it because yeah, I even I set an alarm. I'm like, I'm gonna switch it off at 12, and the alarm went off. I was like, yeah, I'll just do this one more bit. Fucking yeah, 3.5, 4 hours later.
Oh, Dave.
But
Get a grip, man.
yeah, it's just something. It's just this. Oh, I'll just finish this. I'll just complete this bit. I've just got to finish doing this. Oh, I haven't quite set up.
Just
this
got to
factory
terraform
right.
this entire planet.
I've just got to complete get this line of resources down halfway across the map and then set. It's not great.
Satisfactory.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not even like official 1.0 yet. It's still early access.
It does look pretty cool though. Every time I look at a video, I'm like, I reckon I could get into that. But then I think, nah.
It's honestly like if you're at all addicted to this stuff and you want to sort of keep upgrading your factories and get more resources out of them to produce more resources, don't bother because you'll get sucked in and
It's so good you shouldn't play it.
it's like it's one of those bad adverts that you get on some crappy websites like, oh, if you've got a mouse you'll be completely addicted to this game. So,
If you're an adult, you should play this game. Like, what fucking sort of advert is that?
yeah.
If you're over 40, you'll love this pervy game.
So yeah, so I only put on twice this week, because I just can't. I know what I'm like. I'm so bad, but I love it. But the only other game I've really been playing is a game I downloaded and played with my daughter called Craftomation, and it was a demo.
This doesn't sound like one of your games.
But it's the premise is very simple. It's not even a couple of hundred megs. But the premise is simple: is that it's like a 2D down look onto a planet that you've settled on with a rocket, and you set up robots to automate some creation of spreading across the planet and melting all the ice with little campfires and but basically it's a visual programming language with if and or executable program. So basically you program the robot saying, okay, find a resource, combine the resource, find another resource, combine that, and then execute. And yeah, it's I basically just downloaded it because I thought, oh, actually, it looks quite fun, and like teaching my daughter a little bit about programming, visual programming, and yeah, it's one of those just fun little like problem solving bits. Okay, how can we program these robots to do these things that we want to do? So make more bonfires or light bonfires and make sure all the bonfires are lit across the world. And yeah, it was I've been doing a lot of that at the moment with my daughter. We're playing little stupid games, learning things. But yeah, it's an early access game. Craftomation. I'm sure it's going to be like very cheap. There's a demo. The demo is quite. There's quite a lot in the demo. There's a few things that's locked out, but I don't think it impacts playing it. And it's a really good tool for learning very simple programming. So yeah, it's a lot of that this week. And I probably will do some more next week as well. There's Autonauts that I've had my eye on, which is
Sounds like a kids' TV show.
yeah, it could be. It's basically Craftomation, but it looks a lot better. There's more automation and more sort of setup of the actual programming of these things.
It's like
yeah,
there's somewhere there's a factory making factory games.
It's like, honestly, if I had games like this that when I was younger, I think I'd have been a lot better at sort of PC programming. And the games are really good. It's, well, for me, the what I'm getting out of it is, what I'm actually programming into it.
When you're starting on the old Shenzhen game again, whatever, on the other game that was literally fucking coding.
I've still got that installed. That's
when you come back on next week and you tell me your daughter's completed Shenzhen.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm fucking actually impressed, because that's fucking hard.
I had forgotten about that game, but I've still got that installed. Actually, yeah, I might get my daughter to play on my account and say, yeah, no, I completed it.
Exapunks was the other one as well. Exapunks and Shenzhen were literally like fucking.
Yeah.
Well, Exapunks was purely coding, I would say, and Shenzhen was like coding and circuit design combined.
So, but yeah, I don't know. I'm really into it at the moment. I think as long as my daughter still shows an interest, I'll still be playing all that stuff.
You have to. It's good.
Yep. And that's it. That's it for me, really.
Okay.
Not much.
All right. Well, I thought we were piling through pretty quick, but we've ended up putting together a decent chunk of time for people.
Destiny 2.
Yeah, everything else is shit. So Dave, do you want to do your bit? And
I'll do my bit. So, thank you for listening to the Seal Podcast. If you'd like to ask us questions or get involved, please contact us either on Twitter @Seal Podcast, email us at sealpodcast@gmail.com, or join us on our Discord server. A link is pinned on Twitter. We have YouTube and Twitch channels, which we upload and stream to. I don't think there's been much.
There's been no chat.
No chat.
This is what happens when we have a week off.
We got abandoned, didn't we?
Got abandoned. No. But yeah, no. It was nice to have a week off, but it was nice to come back.
Was it though, Dave? Have you asked Neil that? Neil, was it nice to have a week off?
Well, it was nice.
To be fair, Dave joined me anyway. It was just you.
Yeah, we had some Friday night fun time gaming. But yeah, it was. I don't know. It was nice to have not be having the commitment. But then again, actually, it was nice to just sit here and have some beers and chat with some people and have a.
I don't talk to anyone else, so I have to talk to you lot. That's why I was so depressed last week, because you fucking took away my actual social interaction for the week.
Sorry, Neil.
No, it's been
okay. All right. Well, it's good to be back, of course. Thank you very much for listening, gents. Good to see you. And barring acts of work, I see no reason why we shouldn't be here again next week. So until then, thank you very much, and we'll catch you later.
Cheers, guys.